Okay, people, this is day 2 of my 30-day video challenge, and day 2 asks me where I'd like to be in 10 years. Um, Hopefully this will be a really short video, but we'll see. So, some of you may have known of my background, and my background is basically that I became a teacher, and that I have a California state certification in Spanish education with secondary education students, which means I could work from 6 through 12 grades. And I had some experience in 2009, 2010 school year, and it was like probably some of the worst job experience I've ever had. It's probably the worst job experience I've ever had. But it pushed me to go and to really reconsider what it is that I'm doing. Although I would love to teach Spanish to middle schoolers, I'm not sure if I want to do it with high schoolers anymore. The jobs that I currently have to do with tutoring and also with working with little kids. So I'm doing a job that's pretty much, or I'm doing a few jobs that are pretty much not at all related to my degree. Um, Still education, but not quite the same thing. Um, and that being said, I've really rethought, because of the fact that California has no jobs right now, what it means to be an educator. And I love educating kids. I love kids. I love having the opportunity to work with students, to work with children. I like it, or I love it when I see kids like their brain just like boop, like they get that light bulb going. And I love all those moments. However, that last year that I was working at a school, it was just not the best at all. Emotionally, mentally, physically, there were so many issues that I had with that school. However, although it does deter me from being an educator again, and not really wanting to risk going into a school where I don't feel comfortable teaching at this point because I've lost a lot of confidence. I'm planning and hopefully going into some sort of social justice arena. Um, I've really been missing social justice, missing fighting for LGBTQIA rights, or I guess really just LGBTQI rights, and missing being involved politically and being out there and motivated, and particularly with the trans group, trans community, that I feel that there's just like something that's been missing in my life, and that I haven't been as passionate. I feel like just really like overly lazy when it comes to politics surrounding these kinds of things. And I thought that maybe for a while that I was just tired of it because, I did a lot of undergraduate hours. I did a lot of community service with different groups. I had a lot of time from high school all the way through my last year where I did a lot of volunteer work. And once I joined the sorority as a freshman in college, I had 5 years of that and working with GRL and doing a lot of stuff like that. And um, towards the end of college, I was just tired. And then once I got out and I moved here, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll get it back into it. But I didn't really find anything or anybody that could get me back into it. It just sucks. Part of California that sucks here in NorCal, is what they call it, is that people are really flaky, and it sucks that people are flaky. Like, I thought people in Arizona were flaky, and they're not nearly as bad as here. And I think that part of that is because in Arizona, there's like a tighter knit community, that there's like one overall gay community. I mean, you feel that there's like lesbians and then gay guys and trans people, and they're kind of separated into groups like that. But here it's like there's such a large population of queer people that it just boils down to very, very small groups in the end. It's like, okay, trans people that are kinky, that are into BDSM. Okay, there's a small group. And like everywhere else, you would think like that has like 2 or 3 people in it, like everywhere else, meaning Arizona, because that's all I've been exposed to. But here, it's like it's actually a pretty large group of people that fit into that category or any other kind of equivalent category. So what's kind of throwing me off is that I don't really feel like I fit to a specific category, and that I belong to a specific category because, when I go and try to go to like a few like lesbian bars that are here, I just feel like they're so judgmental, and they're so like clicky, and just they just stick together. Like they know other lesbians there, and They all kind of are friends in that group. And because I'm new, like every time I go, people just like stare at me like, oh, blah blah blah, and like talk about me, and it's like I don't feel, part of an LGBTQI community here. So it's been really hard, and because people are flaky and they don't call you back or they don't communicate to you at all, that it's kind of like 50-50 chance that you're even going to meet somebody or find something that you really like doing. And so um, somebody recently gave me advice and just said, just go to everything you can. Just show up. And once they start seeing you there, then they're more likely to trust you. They're more likely to invite you to stuff. They're more likely to think that you're a reliable volunteer and or, hard worker or whatever you're doing. You're passionate, which is great. But my issue is that I want a job now and that I need a job now so that I'm not poor in next month, basically. Next month, I'm looking forward to not having, not looking forward to having no job, not having a job at all, and not having any kind of hours at all. So next month is going to be really hard. My point is, this is supposed to be me being somewhere in 10 years. So my point is, I hope to be in social justice somewhere in 10 years in relation to trans issues, in relation to education and youth empowerment. But who knows? I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I love the fact that LGBTQI history is going to be integrated into college, into California schools as part of history if it gets all signed off and everything by the Assembly and the Senate and whatever. Um, but I don't know if that's going to mean that there's going to be more jobs available. It's just going to be like history teachers are going to have to teach that. But, thinking out loud, I'm just kind of hoping that I get a job somewhere in social justice or working with Jewish, groups or whatever, because really, like, LGBTQIA issues are where I'm at now, where I want to focus, since there are no California teaching jobs. I am taking a test this Saturday to get my CTEL or CLAD certification for ELLs. So that's going to help me to maybe get jobs next year. But as far as hiring, everything's been hired for now for August, and I've applied to a lot of jobs. So I'm not expecting to be teaching this year either. In 10 years, I hope that I'm also possibly teaching something. Possibly math. I'm trying to get into math. In 10 years, I hope to be living somewhere else. Although I really love the city and love the people here, in general, love the feel of this atmosphere. I'm not sure if I want to be here for 10 years. I don't want to move back to Arizona at all because it's so hot there, but I've always kind of wanted to live in San Diego, and we'll see like how much money I have to move over there, but I would love to do that. And let's see, what else? What else? Like in 10 years, I hope to be more financially stable. Like not only have a job that I enjoy doing, but the one that gives me a decent amount of money. And to the point where I pay off a decent amount of my debts. Um, student loans and things like that I'm going to be paying off for my whole life, but that's something that I'm thinking about. I'm 25, so I hope that by the time I'm 35, I'm either considering having kids or already adopting kids at that point. It would be even better if I had a partner, but a partner is not necessary for that, especially since I don't want to be too old before my kids, um, you know, before I adopt my kids, so that I'm not like 50 and adopting like a 3-year-old or something, and then being like, oh, by the time that you're in college, I'll be dead. Um, so I mean, that's pretty much my goals for the next 10 years. Yeah, comment anything that you want to comment on. Maybe tell me where you think that you're going to be in the next 10 years, or how scary it might be to think about the next 10 years, or, yeah, whatever. So leave me a comment down here, either on Facebook or YouTube, and I will continue my 30 days again tomorrow. My 30 days again, my 30-day challenge again for tomorrow is going to be my views on drugs and alcohol. And that one's going to be a little bit longer because I feel like I have a lot to say. So bye until then.